What is up, ladies, gentlemen, and NB friends? Welcome to the Commander Theorem. I'm your host, the ever-charming Commander Theorist, here with perhaps my favorite theory to date. Battlebond is the latest supplemental set from Magic the Gathering, as in, it's not standard legal, but you can definitely use it for Commander. In fact, many cards from Battlebond are extremely useful and in high demand for Commander, so much that many consider the set to be Commander Masters in disguise. But I digress. Today we're here to take a look at perhaps the most hyped legend from the set, Najeela the Blade Blossom. Najeela is a 3/2 human warrior for 2 mana of any color and then 1 red mana. Whenever a warrior attacks, you might have its controller create a 1/1 white warrior creature token that's also tapped and attacking. Let's pause here and take note of this ability and how it's worded. First of all, this ability will trigger regardless of who is doing the attacking. So if an opponent is attacking with their warrior creature, Najeela will trigger and you can choose to give that opponent a token. It's a very political play. Secondly, this ability triggers for each individual warrior that is attacking. So if you have 3 warriors attacking, you can then create 3 additional warriors. This is a powerful ability and it'll definitely snowball very quickly. You're going to see in our build that we have a great many warrior creatures that are thirsting for combat, and so Najeela has the potential to churn out an army of tokens. But that's not her only ability. Her activated ability costs 1 mana of each color. You untap all attacking creatures, they gain lifelink, trample, and haste until the end of turn. Then, after the current phase, there is an additional combat phase. You can only activate this ability during combat. Again, this can be used on any player, though most of the time we will be the ones to be chaining extra combat phases together. Through this ability, Najeela has the ability to gain multiple combat phases and is one of the deck's main win conditions. So the build we'll be theorizing today will consist of 2 main things: a warrior tribal theme utilizing some of the best creatures in the game who picked up a weapon of war, and we will be aiming to take advantage of Najeela's abilities. We have numerous ways to maximize her impact and gain multiple, if not infinite, combat steps. Let's begin. I want to start off by looking at our key warrior creatures. These are the ones who will be bringing the most punch to the table. And I approached the building of this section in the same way that one would approach building something like elves or slivers, who often give boons to the whole tribe. A newcomer from Battlebond, Rushblade Commander, gives all of our warriors on our team haste. Haste is one of the keywords we will prioritize in this deck, as we will want to come out swinging quickly. Ogre Battle Driver also grants haste to creatures, but also grants them +2/+0 until the end of turn, making them big enough to be an immediate threat. Lovisa Cold Eyes gives +2/+2 to our warriors and grants them haste. It also gives Barbarians and Berserkers the same ability, but we really don't see too many of them in this deck. Samut, the Voice of Dissent, is another powerful legendary creature in this deck, giving our creatures haste, but also having some powerful keywords for self. She's double strike, vigilance, haste, as well as having flash. You also can tap her and pay 1 white mana to untap another target creature. Garna the Bloodflame also has flash, and she offers haste to the army. She also comes with the powerful ability to return every creature that was put into your graveyard during this turn back to our hands. She is great to hold up in your hand in the event of a board wipe, and then she gives back all of our warriors. The next keyword we want to prioritize is Trample. If a creature with Trample is blocked, after it deals the lethal damage to all of its blockers, you may have it deal the excess damage to the defending player. So, we will want to be able to give our army Trample so as to ensure that damage is getting through. We run a number of methods to give our creatures Trample. Archetype of Aggression grants our army the ability while preventing opponents from having Trample. Bramblewood Paragon, a powerhouse in this deck, not only gives each other warrior entering the battlefield an additional +1/+1 counter on it, effectively making Najeela's warrior tokens 2/2 creatures, but gives every creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it Trample. It's super powerful. Kenra Charioteer also gives your creatures Trample and has trampled himself. Stonehoof Chieftain gives attacking creatures both trample and indestructible, meaning your opponents will be very hard pressed to block your invincible army. Lastly, Surak Dragonclaw gives tramples and protects your creature spells from counter magic. We also have a few other creatures to give utility abilities to our army. Ankle Shanker gives attacking creatures first strike and death touch, making your army untouchable in combat. Arishin Foremost grants double strike to a target warrior. Aven Windguide gives your creature tokens flying and vigilance, which are both excellent evasion and combat trickery for Najeela's warrior tokens. Herald of Dromoka grants vigilance, ensuring that you will always have defending creatures to block with. Iroas grants menace and protects our creatures from combat damage. Miri, the Weatherlight Duelist, restricts opponents' ability to harm you, forcing them to only block one creature per turn, and preventing them from attacking you with any more than one creature. Let's talk about our win conditions. Our main MO is to beat face until our opponents are all done. It's pretty simple and straightforward on the surface, but given how wide this deck can go, we do have a lot of flexibility. We can churn out tokens easily, and with just a few cards, we can make our army immense. Perhaps the most dangerous spell in the deck is Triumph of the Hordes. Most combat-related decks should consider running this if they have green for the little bit of damage that Infect can do as the final blow. Giving your army of warriors a little boost to Trample and Infect can spell trouble for opponents, especially when you start accumulating those extra combat steps. Coat of Arms is absurd. It boosts your army the more warriors you have. Be wary though, as this will also help your opponents, should they control a creature sharing a type with yours. Jazal Goldmane is a highly underrated option as a win con. For 5 mana, we can give attacking creatures you control +X/+X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Given the next card we will talk about, you can easily synergize with Najeela's ability to churn out an immense amount of damage. Druid's Repository is perhaps the best card in the deck for Najeela. Whenever a creature we control attacks, it gets a charge counter on it. We can then remove a charge counter from the repository to generate 1 mana of any color. So say we attack with 5 warriors, it'll get 5 charge counters on it. Well, Najeela can then use 5 mana that we generate from those counters to give ourselves another combat phase. We attack again, and we generate more charge counters. We make 5 more mana. Infinite combat phases, effectively infinite life gain, and given some of the other enhancements to our creatures we bring with us, is a lethal combination of force. I would expect a competitive build of this deck to exist, running tutors to just snag this one card to hasten that end game. Brutal Horde Chief also offers us a very vicious ability. Whenever a creature you control attacks, the defending player is then drained of 1 life that goes to your life total. I love that is an individual creature trigger, so the more creatures swinging, the more damage we're going to be dealing. And that says nothing to the combat damage the creatures will be dishing out. You can also pay 5 mana to control the blocking for the defending player this turn. Combine this with Ankle Shanker's first strike and death touch combination, you can effectively clear out a good chunk, if not all, of your opponent's creatures. Impact Trebbers and to a lesser extent Perforos are another brutal win condition, burning each opponent with every creature you welcome to your battlefield. You spawn enough warriors with Najeela and it'll be lights out for your opponents. Now we do want to offer some protection for our creatures since we are a combat heavy deck in a format that generally does not enter combat often. We will want to have ways to protect our warriors. The aforementioned Dolmen Gate and Iroas aside, we do have a few ways to ensure that our opponents can't remove our field. Asceticism is the go-to for hexproof and regeneration. It is excellent defense against targeted removal spells. Teferi's Protection is crucial in any deck running white, giving you 1 turn to avoid any and all opportunities your opponents may take to take you out. Boros Charm offers us 3 useful modes, as well as offering our permanents indestructible until end of turn. Great anti-board wipe. Lastly, I want to touch upon some card draw. We are open to every single magic card in 5 colors, and so we will want to use the ones that best synergize with our commander. Raider Spoils is perfect in this deck. With the amount of damage that we are capable of, along with the lifelink that Najeela grants, we can neutralize any drawbacks this card has. Zendikar Resurgent not only gives us a card with every creature spell we cast, but it also doubles our land mana production. Herald's Horn cheapens out warriors and gives us the potential for an additional card draw. Shamanic Revelation is great to give us a ton of card draw. Just be careful though if we have a ton of warrior tokens in play that we do not deck ourselves out from drawing too many cards. For the full deck list, which also includes our take on an optimized mana base, you can check the first link in the description of this video for the tapped out deck list. Najeela the Blade Blossom is a very powerful new commander for a tribe that opens up a huge door of opportunity for brand new builds. She offers great synergy and speed to an already aggressively inclined tribe. I hope you enjoyed this commander theorem. Leave a comment about what you think, and if there's another legend you'd like to take a look at in the future of Theory, feel free to let me know down below. If you want to see more videos like this one, consider hitting that like button. You can help us improve our content over at our Patreon at patreon.com/planeswalkerproject, and feel free to subscribe to be informed of future videos. And as always, I'll catch you rockstars next upkeep.